Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the most famous and successful bodybuilders of all time, once gave this piece of advice to a new lifter. My advice for beginners is really simple. Begin, and then don't stop until it is a routine. For a lot of people, that first step is the hardest. So find something, anything you can do. He stresses the importance for beginners to simply just start and make the act of working out a routine, because chances are your gym progress will explode after 1 month of consistent training, if done right. Now, this is due to a few core factors that we will be discussing in this video, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna get into some really solid advice and strategies that I personally use to help me actually get consistent in that first month, as well as maximize gains for the time after. So let's go to the gym and get into it. Now, the number one factor why your progress will likely explode after 1 month of consistent training in the gym is due to neurological gains. Now, what does this mean? Now, neuro gains or neuroadaptations is essentially your brain learning how to perform an exercise more efficiently. For example, let's say when you're performing a bicep curl, your brain is sending signals down your spine to motor units in the biceps brachii to either contract or shorten, or stretch or lengthen. Motor units being the singular unit of muscle fibers. And over time, your brain becomes better at recruiting the motor units required to shorten the bicep, but under even more resistance. Pretend instead of a 5-pound dumbbell, this might be like a 10, 20, 25. Now, as a real world example, you've probably noticed within the first month of lifting, you've become a lot stronger. It almost seems like every single session you can add either more weight on the bar or do more reps, but when you take a look at yourself in the mirror, not a whole lot has changed. Well, that's because you didn't really actually build all that much muscle in that 1 month. More so, a lot of the strength was from your brain just getting better at lifting those weights. Instead of your bench press looking like this, it's probably gonna be more efficient and look like this. Now, what does this have to do with your progress exploding after 1 month? Well, it's been shown that neural adaptations continue to rapidly improve for up to your first 3 months of training. So as much progress as you made in just 1 month, imagine how the next 2 months are gonna go. This is basically the time of your training where you're gonna be able to progressive overload the quickest, so definitely take advantage of it. And then once you hit roughly your 3rd month of consistent training, your form should be quite solid and stable at this point. Now, neural adaptations tend to slow down during this time, but rapid muscle growth should continue for up to 6 to 1 year, relatively speaking. And I take it at this point, you're probably gonna be significantly stronger than you were when you first started, so imagine the progress you're gonna be making on the muscle bone side. This is also known as newbie gains. So now after roughly 3 months of consistent training, your form should feel a lot more smooth, everything should feel a little bit more balanced, more stable, you have a good understanding of how to perform exercises properly, and now you're gonna be in a really good position to now train harder, so train close to failure, if not to failure, as well as progressive overload, not just from like having better form, but from actual like strength. And if you continue to do this for your first entire year of training, pretty much just showing up in the gym, doing workouts when you need to, you can expect to build roughly 10 pounds of muscle in that first year. Now, 10 pounds of muscle, this is an average, and depending on someone, like that might not seem like a lot of muscle, but however, granted that I came from 115 pounds and now I'm only 20 pounds heavier and I look the way I do at 135 pounds, let me tell you, it is a serious amount of muscle. Also, if you don't believe me, here's an example of what 10 pounds of muscle actually looks like. Now, the second factor in why your progress explodes after 1 month is habitual changes compounded. When to work out, how often to work out, how to get more protein in your diet. These are all things that can seem pretty daunting when you're just starting out. However, the good news is that these are all problems that once you figure out, they never really become a problem ever again. At least if you do things right. I'll get into that at the end of this video. On top of that, in the beginning, there might be a lot of social factors that might deter you from wanting to work out. Maybe it's your friends or families nagging on you for working out in the first place. Maybe you get a little bit nervous walking to the gym and thinking people are like watching you and stuff. But once again, these are things that once you kind of overcome that fear, they tend to never become problems again in the future. And honestly, a lot of this like bullying type of stuff really pisses me off because no one can decide what you do with your body except yourself. I promise you. After 6 months of consistent training, you're not gonna care if whoever's watching you in the gym. And once your friends and family members start seeing you make progress, now they're gonna be coming to you and be like, yo, how'd you lose all that weight? How'd you build all that muscle? Like, whoa, what'd you do to do that? Like, let me know the secret, that sort of thing. It's a good feeling. But for now, I recommend use that negative energy to like really motivate you and think of it as like, you know what? I'll show you. I'll show you why I'm doing this. I'm gonna make it worth it. then on the nutrition side, as you eat healthier, clean up your diet, you're gonna notice that junk food kind of just makes you feel like shit. These habitual changes are slow to start. Maybe it'll even take you more than a month to actually really get down, but have some comfort knowing that once you get these things down, they never really become a problem ever again. Well, unless your circumstances changes. So let me give you some golden advice in that first month that will set you up to be super consistent and basically be a machine that allows you to make gains. The number one thing you can do is follow a workout routine that actually fits your schedule. And if your schedule changes, be willing to change your split. You see, you don't need to be going 6 times per week if you want to make progress. So be real with yourself. If you can only commit going to the gym twice per week, 1 hour long each session, that's honestly fine to make progress. Now let me know if you know someone like this. They spend the entire summer going to the gym 5 times per week, super consistent, but then school starts and now they stop going because they got busier. Don't be this person. Now naturally as humans, we tend to not like change, but even if you become busier, there's always a way to weave your fitness routine, change your split up to actually still fit your schedule. If you go from 5 days to 3 days per week, it's not inherently worse if you make your programming sound. And don't think that going 3 days per week is any worse than going 5 days per week. I think this is a real reason why people fall off, because they think they can't make progress by going less days. In reality, different workout splits all have their pros and cons. If you can't go 5 days per week, now you're only going 3, well, you're gonna notice that in those 3 workouts that you're giving yourself in a week, you're probably able to push way harder than before. Your recovery is probably gonna be on point, so you're not gonna be dealing with as much overtraining or soreness that tends to creep up after the months go by. And overall, you might even notice that, hey, maybe you like going 3 days way more than 5 days. Second big tip is focus on learning rather than trying to see results in your first month. Look, you have to understand that performing all these different exercises is a skill. Learning to have an eye for what's healthy and what's not, what's high protein, it's a skill. And you can't really expect yourself to know every single thing in just 1 month. The good thing is it doesn't have to be as boring as I make it sound. You don't have to sit in the classroom and learn the skill of fitness. All you gotta do is show up to the gym, do your workout regardless of whether it's optimized or not. Take a look around, notice that no one really cares that you're a beginner. Just do your thing, use light weights, don't ego lift, and you're gonna be shocked at how much experience you actually gain from just doing that consistently for an entire month. On the nutrition side, just look up high protein, low calorie foods if the goal is to lose body fat and or build muscle, and just incorporate 1 lean source of protein and 1 lower calorie food right now. And once you get bored of that, then you can find another one. But you don't need to make a grandiose meal plan or anything like that. Which brings me to my last point, and that is consider getting a coach. You see, the unfortunate truth is that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and the public school system doesn't really do a good job of teaching this to anyone. So having the right coach can basically fast track the process of you learning everything you need to actually make pretty solid progress quicker. Or I guess better word, more optimally. Now, being completely honest, I don't claim to be the best coach or anything like that, but I have helped hundreds of people transform their bodies in a very realistic, not you gotta eat chicken and broccoli every single day kind of way. So if you're interested in working with me, definitely apply to my one-on-one fitness coaching program in the link in the description. So now that we've covered that first month, let me speed run through my advice after that first initial month to maximize gains. First thing, if your goal is to maximize building muscle, don't try to lose weight. And if you're trying to lose weight, take the deficit slow, not only for your sanity, but so you can body recon. Second advice, try to train every muscle group twice per week. Number 3, if you're confused about how to do an exercise, look it up on YouTube or ask your coach first before trying. I got a bunch of videos on workout form. Number 4, focus on getting a good stretch on the muscle. Stretch-mediated hypertrophy adaptations generally occur for the first few months of training, so this is especially important if you're starting out. Number 5, control the eccentric on every single exercise. Yes, every single exercise. Aim for a 2-second tempo, except maybe a conventional deadlift. Number 6, rest at least 2 minutes between sets. Number 7, aim for at least 0.8 grams per pound of body weight in protein. Number 8, eat vegetables and fruits. Number 9, aim for at least 10,000 steps per day. It is definitely achievable. You just gotta get out there and walk more. And number 10, train within 2 reps shy of failure after you're confident on how to perform those exercises correctly. Keyword, after you're confident. And those were the 10 pieces of advice that I sped run through. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope this advice really gives you motivation to continue on after that first month. The most important thing is you just developing the habit of going consistently, and the rewards of that will compound in the future. With that said, leave a like to support my page, hit subscribe if you want to level up your physique, and I'll see y'all in the next one.